Madam President, I cannot believe I have to say this, but a president should not take a $400 million gift from a foreign country. It doesn't matter which president, what party, it doesn't matter which foreign country, it doesn't matter if there is or is not a legal justification. No president should take a $400 million gift from a foreign country.
Welcome back to the Republican Forum, the channel where we cut through the noise and speak the truth about what's happening in our country. I cannot believe I have to say this. That's a dramatic line from Senator Brian Schatz, a Democrat from Hawaii, in his recent speech attacking President Donald J. Trump over what he calls a $400 million gift from Qatar. Yeah, you heard that right. The senator is claiming that Trump is selling out America by accepting a plane, mind you, from an allied nation in the Middle East. And of course, the leftist media is eating it up. So let's take a step back and do something the Democrats refuse to do. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe right now.
People who we have representing us should know, not think, but know, that their representatives are focused on them and this country only, that our loyalties are not divided, that our minds are not wandering elsewhere. The Emoluments Clause in the Constitution. It's a fancy phrase, but a simple idea. No foreign gifts. If foreign government offers you anything, but especially something close to $500 million worth, the answer is no thank you. End of story. Very simple. End of story. I cannot take that. First of all, I cannot take that because I can't have divided loyalties. I'm going into the region. I can't take a $400 million gift before I begin negotiations with you. But it's also explicitly prohibited by the United States Constitution. And the gift in question is that the country of Qatar is going to literally provide a luxury aircraft, not just any luxury aircraft to the President of the United States, but Air Force One. And why does this matter? Air Force One is not just a random luxury airplane. It is a symbol of and a projection of American power. It has flown 15 different presidents. It carried President John F. Kennedy's body after his assassination and saw President Johnson be sworn in under unprecedented circumstances. It rushed George W. Bush back to Washington after the Twin Towers were struck. And just 2 years ago, it flew President Joe Biden to Europe for a secret trip to Ukraine during the war. When people see Air Force One on TV, when they see it land in other countries, whether in London or Tokyo or Brazil, they immediately know that America has arrived. It represents not just the weight of the presidency, but America itself, generations of history and international leadership. But in one fell swoop, Trump is selling out one of the most iconic symbols of American power that we have. And what people will now see is the most powerful man on earth flying around in a plane paid for by a foreign government. It's disgusting. It's wildly corrupt. And just because they are doing the corruption in plain sight does not make it any less damning or sad or gross. This week, several of my colleagues and I will be asking the Senate to vote to condemn this action. There should be 100 of us that agree on this fundamental principle. No president should take free stuff from a foreign government, and certainly nothing worth $400 million. I yield the floor.
Let's start with the Emoluments Clause, which Senator Schatz throws around like he just discovered the Constitution yesterday. According to him, this clause prohibits a president from accepting any gift from a foreign nation. That's a strong argument, if it were applied consistently. Where was this righteous constitutional outrage when the Clinton Foundation was raking in millions from foreign donors while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State? Where was the condemnation when the Bidens were making deals with China, Ukraine, and Romania? Oh, right. Silence. Absolute silence. Because when the left does it, it's diplomacy. When Trump does anything, even symbolic, it's treason. This is nothing more than selective outrage from a political class that has always hated Trump, not for breaking the law, but for breaking their hold on Washington. Now let's talk about Qatar. Is Qatar a hostile regime? No. It's a U.S. ally, home to one of the most important U.S. air bases in the region. We work with them on counterterrorism, military operations, and economic partnerships. So when Qatar offers a highly advanced aircraft, perhaps for diplomatic or symbolic reasons, the left immediately cries corruption? Do you really think Trump, the man who donated his presidential salary, the man who lost billions entering politics, is suddenly selling his soul for a plane? This man flew around on his own private aircraft for years. Trump didn't need Qatar's plane. If anything, this is more likely about strategic partnerships and symbolism, not bribery. The man isn't some petty grifter. He's a billionaire who loved this country and sacrificed his business empire to serve it. Senator Schatz talks about Air Force One being a symbol of America's strength. You know what else is a symbol of America's strength? A president who commands global respect. A president who put America first. Trump brought peace deals to the Middle East. Trump rebuilt the military. Trump forced NATO allies to pay their fair share. Under Trump, America was feared by our enemies and respected by our allies. Now the left wants to pretend that a symbolic aircraft gift somehow cheapens that. No. What cheapens our image is when we have a commander-in-chief who needs cue cards to finish a sentence, who abandons allies in Afghanistan, and who sends billions to foreign countries while our own veterans sleep on the streets. Senator Schatz says just because corruption is in plain sight doesn't make it less corrupt. Well, I agree. But if we're going to talk about corruption in plain sight, let's talk about the Biden crime family. Let's talk about Hunter's laptop, Burisma, Chinese wire transfers, and Joe's mysterious offshore accounts. The left pretend to care about ethics, but it's always only when it's convenient for their side. Let's get real. The true threat to our republic isn't a foreign plane. It's the globalist agenda, the weaponization of government against patriots, and the destruction of our Constitution by activist elites who think America is something to be ashamed of. Trump stood against that. He fought for border security, energy independence, religious liberty, and the American worker. That's why they hate him. That's why they invent nonsense like this plane scandal, to distract from the real issues. So to Senator Schatz, I say this. We don't need lectures from people who let corruption thrive in their own party. We don't need phony outrage about luxury planes while American families are crushed by inflation and our border is wide open. President Trump doesn't need Qatar's plane to be powerful. He has the power of the people behind him. And come 2024, that's the only vehicle that matters, the Trump train. If you agree that this is nothing but another political witch hunt, hit that like button, subscribe if you're tired of the lies, and drop a comment below. Do you think Trump is being unfairly targeted again? Let's keep standing up for America. Let's keep speaking the truth. God bless President Trump. God bless our Constitution. And God bless the United States of America.